evening on House and Home. Norman of PIMS joins us once again on the show with encouraging thoughts on the benefits of a good education. We also have World Vision sharing another of the projects they support. Rosemary of BSP joins us for the BSP update for the month of June. Origin talks more on their Safety with Gas campaign. It's Besta Tuna Vegetable Casserole on Cooking with Besta, and we join Jane over at Brian Bell for more great quality buys at great affordable prices, especially what they have on offer now that the Term 2 school break has started for some schools. A very good evening to you all, and welcome to another production of House and Home. I trust the weekend was an eventful weekend for most of you, or a rather relaxing one. Those that live in the nation's capital, some of you would have attended the Inner Circle concert. Hope that would have been a memorable one for you. Others, I'm assuming, would have kept in touch with the latest happenings of the FIFA World Cup. I try to, as I'm a huge Brazilian fan. If it's not FIFA, it'll be the NRL. Also, a very good evening to the early Sunday morning PAU market goers. I was there early Sunday morning, and it was good to have caught up with so many familiar faces marketing for fresh vegetables, and of course the morning breakfast with the PAU family there. We have yet another jam-packed program to get through tonight, so I think we should get started and join Norman of PIMS for more on education and the advantages of the English language. I'll see you all shortly.
A very good evening to all you viewers out there once again as we welcome you to this, the 22nd PIMS episode on House and Home. Grade 10 students throughout the country sat for the English written expression exam 2 weeks ago. We certainly hope the majority of students are satisfied with their efforts. I have been looking at some of the 2012 reports that were presented in the Department of Education PES, or Provincial Examination Supervisor Workshop, that was held in Port Moresby last year, 2013. PIMS was a participant in that workshop. The title of one of the reports that caught my attention read, "The PNG education system is a bottleneck with standard questionable." The report posed two very important questions on academic standards in the country, namely, is PNG academic standard high or low, and how can we verify that? Very significant questions, as oftentimes many people and institutions, in the absence of real facts and figures, are quick to question, express sentiments or complain about the low or poor standard of education in the country. In fact, many tertiary institutions in the country are starting to express concern about the rising trend of students applying to these institutions with very low marks. To answer the question on education standards and provide verification, the cited report looked at the selection process of grade 9 students into high schools and secondary schools in PNG. In particular, the cutoff mark for grade 9 selections. In the report, the national cutoff mark set for grade 9 selections is 80, which is the benchmark set for that level of education. All provinces are required to follow this cutoff benchmark criteria when making grade 9 selections. However, the report notes that some provinces select below the cutoff mark of 80, even right down to below 60, due to the following reasons. Number one, to fill all available spaces at high school or secondary schools. Number two, provincial averages are frequently very low, forcing cutoff marks to go below 80. And number three, there is bribery or one-talk system. The report logically and correctly points out that whenever provinces set their cutoff marks below 80, it will definitely affect the academic standard at upper levels of education for the same group of students who have been selected with low cutoff marks into grade 9. In fact, the report further notes that such an approach of including and selecting low-mark students has led to a very high incompletion or dropout rate among such students. It gave two explanations for this ensuing situation. Number one, most students who have been enrolled with very low cutoff marks could not cope with their studies. And number two, most students face the problem of comprehension, reading and listening. They do not understand what is being taught or read or heard. The report further points out that for the 3 consecutive years, starting from 2008 to 2010, no region in PNG has reached an average cutoff score of 80. All the country's 4 regions' average cutoff score has been below 80, most around 60. The report concludes, if most of the 4 regions' average cutoff score is around 60 for the 3 years, then it means the majority, or 70%, of the grade 8 students have been selected with a low achievement level in all the examined subjects, well below the national benchmark of 80. Quite some revelation, I think. It is not difficult to see that the consequence of these low achieving selections carries on to the next and all the higher levels of education of students in later years. Mind you, this challenge will become even more greater once the free and compulsory education policies take full effect, in which potentially there will be 100% selection or transition to grade 9 and all other levels as well. What will be the relevance or use of the cut-off mark grade policy then? And what will be the impact on the standard of education in future? Food for thought questions. Let me not take too much of Mr. Bruce Copeland's time. He's ready to go to continue talking about mastery learning in English at PIMS and the Norman Sige Institute, NSI. So it's over to you once more, Mr. Copeland.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Over the last 50 years, education in the world has been gutted like a lamb to the slaughter. There was a time when education was under the discipline of teachers, many of whom were men who came out of World War I and World War II as soldiers. Students had to salute the flag every morning. I had to. My grade 8 teacher was an officer from World War I. I can remember the problems we boys caused by lowering the school Australian flag to half-mast. He went out of his brain. We moved around the school as a squad, lined up in threes and moving to the sound of a military march. Left, right, left, right. We were soldiers marching to the tune of World Wars I and II. But there was a response to this from the baby boomer children born to returned soldiers' wives, who reacted against the discipline of the 1950s. As they grew in the 1960s and 70s, the young people reacted with long hair of the Beatles. There was to be no more military short back and sides haircut for boys. They opposed the Vietnam War with the slogan, "Make love, not war." Young people went to rock concerts, smoked marijuana, and danced naked. Their parents would have been horrified. I just stayed on the farm. There was a reaction in education. There was no longer to be the discipline of memorizing. Children were not to have to spell words correctly. They did not learn to write with correct grammar. They learned to write by writing. They learned to read by reading. There was another movement building up with the Russians sending the satellite Sputnik into space. While the young people were making love, not war, the US government had been doing their best to change the education system since 1955. But the teachers of the 1960s were the new generation who had other agenda. There were women who wanted women's liberation. The educational agenda was changing. Discipline was out. Children had to have fun at school. No more writing out of spelling. No more learning poems. The interests of children were paramount. The levels of literacy slowly dropped. While all this was going on, there were attempts by the government of the United States to lift education. A key player was Dr. Benjamin Bloom, who promoted mastery learning through his taxonomy of educational objectives. The new approach of learning to read by reading was the basis of the phonics approach of Dr. Seuss, with the cat in the hat. But his approach could go no further than grade 3. There were nasty surprises in store for the Department of Education of Papua New Guinea after independence, with the introduction of outcome-based education and vernacular languages in elementary school. The standards of education dropped throughout the country for many reasons. The abolition of competitive exams kept the previous dropouts in school. Many were illiterate, the result of using vernacular in primary school to the point that they could not understand English in writing, speaking or reading. Schools lacked facilities. There were poor facilities, particularly in school libraries. Teachers and students found great difficulty in promoting research that seemed to be the basis of OBE. There was the problem of acceptance into university. Complaints have been made that the standards of literacy and research of former secondary students were very weak. There has to be a way to lift the standards of the basics from elementary grades to grade 12. The possible option is a return to mastery learning to build up the strength of the average students. The future involves a return to learning of old. There has to be a formal focus on the discipline of spelling, vocabulary, and writing. Students have to lift the standard of writing and reading. I am not a silly old man telling modern education that things used to be better in my day. There is so much improvement in modern education from years gone past, but so much has been spoiled and left behind from the earlier times. Students have to learn spelling by spelling lists, grade by grade. They are to be tested in spelling set for homework. They write sentences to show they understand the words. In each grade there could be 400 words, many based on the Latin roots to come. Others could be based on textbooks. Students could learn 2,000 to 3,000 basic words from early grades to grade 12. They learn the parts of sentences by clauses and phrases. They make up their own sentences according to clauses and phrases given by the teacher. They learn the words derived from Latin and Greek. They break words up into syllables. Knowledge of prefixes, roots, and suffixes will help their accuracy. They write ideas and give explanations in their own words. Principal clause plus noun clause plus adjectival clause. I knew the truth that the boy had left the meeting that was held at the school. Adverbial phrase plus principal clause plus adverbial clause of reason. Having no money, he went to the bank to ask for a loan. Principal clause plus adjectival clause plus adverbial clause of reason. He went to the house that was marked on the map as his mother was waiting there. Breaking words into syllables helps students with accurate spelling. With Latin-derived words, the task is made easier as the syllables follow the prefixes, roots, and suffixes. Transcription, eruption, accident, represent. It is important that students have access to spelling lists from grade to grade. They are required to spell correctly and use the sentences in context to show they understand the meaning. It can be very difficult for some students just to create fictional sentences. He was late for school as his mother was sick and had to be hospitalized. That shows he understands the meaning of the word hospitalize. It was a coincidence that they met as the boy thought his friend was in lay. That leaves no doubt that the person understands the meaning of the word coincidence. They only own the words when able to apply to their own speech and writing. Students should be given exercises that enable words to be spelt correctly and used in correct contexts. New awareness has to be promoted of the importance of students reading newspapers, magazines, and books. They have to improve their range of vocabulary, increasing from grade to grade. They have to learn to spell. It is not meant to be fun. Memorizing is work. It is 99% perspiration, so Albert Einstein said. Mastery learning is the way to lift the standard of students in literacy, mathematics, science, and biology. Students have to learn skills that remain with them all their lives, not to be forgotten the day after they leave school. Well, that is that for tonight. Thank you, Mr. Siki.
Thank you once again, Mr. Copeland, for another good and informative presentation. True learning that benefits students most cannot only be fun, but it must also be disciplined and serious. It must be hard work, as expressed by the most brilliant scientist Albert Einstein, who said, "Knowledge is 1% inspiration, but 99% or most of it is perspiration," that is hard work. We receive on the average about 150 calls straight after each of the last few episodes. We say thank you to every one of these callers. Our certificate in Mastery Learning in English for Semester 2 2014 at PIMS and the Norman C.K. Institute NSI, plus the other courses in matriculation, grade 12 upgrading, correspondence, business, computing, accounting, and others start on the 7th of July 2014, which is next month. Application forms and information on both PIMS and NSI courses can be obtained by using the following contact details and locations as shown on the screen. Phone 727-33345 or 716-86044, 738-19866, 325-4815, or 479-0303. The 7 PIMS and NSI center locations are as shown: NCD, Ley, Medang, Wewak, Kavieng, Manus, and Enga Province. Both the institutions, PIMS and NSI, are on Facebook as well. Open Facebook and type Port Moresby Institute of Matriculation Studies PIMS or Norman C.K. Institute NSI for queries and comments. For those on WhatsApp, our WhatsApp number is 7096-8864. In closing, how much more clearer can it get? The Department of Education PES report being referred to here clearly states that the low achievement of students and the poor standard of education in our schools is because students countrywide have problems in English. They have problems in comprehension, reading, and listening. The same report further mentions that the results of 2 early education basic literacy and numeracy tests in PNG, namely Early Grade Reading Assessment or EGRA and the Curriculum Standards Monitoring Test CSMT, both show that reading and writing continue to be issues in early education in PNG. Both tests indicated the comprehension level and writing skills are low. It states that phonics, pronunciation, fluency, comprehension, reading, listening, and writing are issues that need to be addressed if we are to ever raise the standard of education in our country. How important is English as we continue to tackle the challenges of education standards in our country? That's all we have time for tonight, unfortunately. As always, let me thank you all for your attention, not forgetting my offsider and co-presenter, Mr. Bruce Copeland. Well done, Mr. Copeland. As announced 2 weeks ago, this series of PIMS episodes will soon end. We cannot thank you viewers enough for your support throughout. After tonight's episode, there are only 2 more to go, and whatever you do, please do not miss them. Till we meet again in 2 weeks' time for another and the second last PIMS episode, it's good night to you all.
After the break, we join Henry for the Origin Gas Talk.
Good evening, viewers. I am Henry Maipu, and thank you once again for joining us on the second episode of Origin Gas Talk. I have here with me Molly, who will be demonstrating different methods of heating. Welcome to you, Molly.
Thank you, Henry, and I'm happy to join you tonight.
In our first segment, we covered the launching of the safety campaign and the first 8 blocks of awareness, which includes connecting your gas safely, how to transport your gas safely, lifting your cylinder safely, safety tips, tips on efficient burning, safe storage, cleaning your gas stove at home, and why you should cook with gas. Basically, we want to educate our consumers and bridge the fear factor that gas is dangerous. We believe this will enhance safety culture at home and to build acceptance and confidence. In this segment, we will be giving you an overview of why you should cook with gas. I will also emphasize on why it is more convenient to cook with gas compared to firewood, electricity, and kerosene. Here in front of Molly, there is a 4.5 gas cylinder, a 2-burner gas stove, a kerosene stove, electric stove, firewood, and 4 kettles, and a jug of water to fill in the kettle, which shortly she will fill with water and heat up. To see which method heats and boils water faster, we light up the gas stove, we also light up the kerosene stove, we switch on the electric stove and also light up the firewood all at the same time, and we give 5 minutes and we check to see which method heats and boils water faster. After 5 minutes, the kerosene stove, firewood, and electric stove does not heat up faster, as it takes time for heat to travel through the plates to provide enough heat to cook and boil water. Therefore, cooking is very slow. Gas is a faster way of cooking and it's hotter. Cooks up to half the time than some other fuels. It is safe for your family and gas burns cleanly and won't cause lung problems. Instant cooking. Just turn on your switch or knob to instantly control your cooking temperatures. A small 4.5 kg gas bottle lasts an average family of 5 for up to 14 days. Direct heating is better and it means energy is not wasted. Thank you viewers for your time, and be sure to join me on the 3rd episode of Gas Talk on how to connect your gas safely. You can also listen to Yumi FM for any of the safety tips, and awareness flyers will be available at your gas agent, so please pick them up and share with your family at home. Look out for Uncle Gasman's appearance at your nearest Origin LP gas dealer, and remember, LP Gas, life made easy. Good evening.
Thank you once again, Henry, and a big thank you to Uncle Gasman and the rest of the team at Origin. Once again, all flyers are available at all the Origin depots. If you're in Port Moresby, you can also drop by to the House Cook setup over at Quartz PNG and pick up the various flyers from there. Also see the wide range of burners and cooktops that Origin has. More on House and Home in a moment with the BSP update for June, so stay watching.
BSP is expanding the largest branch network in the South Pacific with new containerized branches. New ideas, new technology, new service. Where it's needed, we go where the other banks don't. To the most remote regions in PNG and the South Pacific, on a mission to bring banking to the people. BSP's containerized branches. BSP, it's how we bank.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to BSP's segment. Tonight, we begin with the launch of the 16th Book Belong Pikinini Library in Manus Island. This library is the 3rd sponsored library out of the 7 to be built around the country under BSP's partnership with Book Belong Pikinini. The first library under this partnership was opened in Lae in 2013, followed by the Goroka Library in April this year. 4 more libraries are expected to roll out in the country, including 2 scheduled in NCD, 1 in Kokopo and Madang. To date, these libraries have reached over 5,000 children and growing. BSP is proud with this partnership for a simple yet vital reason, and that is to help improve literacy rate in PNG. These libraries will help create a culture of reading from an early age as 3 years old, and that our children develop the necessary skills of reading as part of their development as the future leaders of this country. Now, moving into professional groups, this month the Certified Practicing Accountants, or CPA, received its annual support of more than 50,000 kina towards their 3 conferences held in the country. The first conference was held in Kokopo this month, while the second to be held in Lae from the 14th to 15th August, and their final conference will be held in Moresby in November. This conference brings together accountants to develop their knowledge and skills in their profession that bring benefits to the economic development of this country. Now moving into our expanding services, last month saw BSP move into Gulf Province with the Kikori sub-branch opening. This month, a new sub-branch is also opened in Kerema that will provide basic banking services such as deposits, withdrawals, and account opening. BSP closed its doors in 2008 after its branch in Kerema was subjected to robbery where substantial amount was stolen. Now, to complement these two sub-branches, agents will be set up in the surrounding districts and BSP teams will sign up mobile banking customers. So we urge the people of Kerema to look after these facilities in order to receive continued banking services. While expanding our services in the country, we are also mindful of what the impact of our operations does in our environment. As part of our Go Green initiative, BSP has teamed up with Palm Nature Park to celebrate the World Environment Day early this month. With the theme, Our Green City, there were activities that were aimed to reinforce and promote the Go Green message in caring and respecting the environment. A number of organizations took part in promoting what they do in their respective organization to also care for the environment. BSP brand ambassadors Ryan Pinney and Toya Whistle were also there to support and drive the message of Go Green. Pacific Games mascot Tura was also there to remind everyone to care for the environment and also keeping it clean in preparation for the 2015 Pacific Games. Now, speaking of the Pacific Games, let's have a look at the update on the venues. Work on the venues that will be used for the 2015 Pacific Games is progressing well, with the construction of the main venues taking shape. The Tarama Aquatic Center, the Games Village, and the Sir John Guy Stadium are the key venues being built and refurbished for the Games. The Aquatic Center will have world-class facilities, including an Olympic standard 50-meter pool, international standard timing, and controlled rooms with coaching facilities. The Games Village will house athletes and will have a dining hall built next to it. It will be the busiest hub during the 2 weeks of the competition. The other key venue is the Sir John Guy Stadium, which will host various disciplines and the opening and closing ceremonies. These two events will showcase Papua New Guinea's diverse culture to the region and the world. The recent launched master plan of the Bissini ground will also see major changes taking place at respective sporting grounds for the 2015 Games and beyond. The 2015 Pacific Games will put the spotlight on the country, and it is hoped that these venues will leave a legacy for many years to come, well after the 2015 Games. In another major sporting event taking place this year is the 6th PNG National Games. BSP has come on board as naming rights sponsor this month. PNG Games are an exciting and uniquely PNG sporting and cultural event that has identified some of our current dynamic sporting heroes. Our BSP brand ambassador, Toya Whistle, who is also the 6th PNG Games ambassador, is a fine example of these games that can identify local talents who have potential to become world-class athletes. There will be over 9,000 athletes from 22 provinces taking part in 28 sports at 19 different venues in November this year in Lae Morobe province. Phil Franklin, chairman of the host organizing committee, highlighted that the partnership between PNG Games and BSP is very significant for the development of sports in this country. The PNG Games provides athletes with a pathway to higher standard of competition. As a major sponsor for both the PNG Games and the 2015 Pacific Games, BSP links the athletes' journey from the PNG Games to the Pacific Games on home soil. Now, apart from all the other activities, the branches continued to drive their community projects around the country. BSP brand ambassador Toya Whistle, who was in the country this month, was on site to help one of the business unit community project at Konidobo. This project was the reconstruction of the Scouts Association of PNG Training Hall. This hall was built in 1974 and was listed under NCDC's condemned list until BSP came to their aid to reconstruct this hall in preparation to host the South Pacific Council of Scout Youth Commission Conference. In the Highlands, we have Pogera Branch project progressing very well, with work on the PIMS basketball court commenced as scheduled. 15 out of the 37 projects to be rolled out have been completed and handed over. More updates on these outstanding projects will be given in our next month's segment. This has now concluded our segment this evening. Join us next month for more updates. Until then, good night.
BSP is expanding the largest branch network in the South Pacific with new containerized branches. New ideas, new technology, new service. Where it's needed, we go where the other banks don't. Wow. To the most remote regions in PNG and the South Pacific, on a mission to bring banking to the people. BSP's containerized branches. BSP, it's how we bank.
Thank you, Rosemary, and wonderful news to learn that the Book Bilang Pikanini project has extended out to the outside regions, to Manus in particular. We featured a special on Book Bilang Pikanini earlier on in the year. Kokopo and Medang, I'm sure, will be thrilled to have one set up in their region within the year. Learning through books at the earliest age possible is the way to go. Mums and dads, be sure to read to your babies and continue to do so until they can start to read with you and then read to you themselves. Stay with us as Jane showcases the product range of keeping your children busy over the school holidays. That's coming right up after these messages.
Hey, hey, Mr. B.
Hello and good evening, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Haus Home with Brian Bell. I'm Jane Tokilala. A holiday is leisure time away from work or school and is devoted to rest or pleasure. I know school holidays is around the corner for some of you, while others are already in the holiday spirit and having heaps of fun. There are different ways where you can spend your holidays. Some of you may want to laze around at home watching your favorite programs on TV, or if you're a soccer fanatic and into FIFA, then you'd definitely be up to date with that on TV. While other students are more involved in community or school groups and are out and about on camping or sporting trips. Well, here at Brian Bell, we have products that will suit every occasion. Playing sports is a healthy way of living and very popular during school holidays. If you want to buy a ball for you and your friends to play some rugby or soccer, you should consider coming to Brian Bell because we have every single ball that you would need. We have tennis balls, squash balls, golf balls, rugby, soccer, volleyball, basketball, and many more. We also can cater for your soccer or rugby teams for accessories like headgears, mouth guards, shoulder pads, knee sleeve, gloves, shin pads, goalie gloves, stopwatch, training shoes, and many more. For the tennis players, we have available tennis rackets, nets, sweatbands, wristbands, and table tennis bats, just to mention a few. So you can never go wrong shopping at Brian Bell for your sporting needs. If you love the water and will be spending your holidays next to a beach, river, pool, or water slide, similar to the adventure park, which I'm sure some of you are heading that way, well, we have swimming accessories that will make your time in the water more enjoyable. For the swimming beginners, we have the pool school or boogie board, which can be used as training tool to learn how to swim, and or parents can use to train their kids to swim in the water. We also have floaters, Intex wheel ride-on, twisty tubes, Intex color wheel tube, X Factor ring toss, and different water game tools where you can use in the water. If you don't have access to a pool, then don't worry, because we have fun items which are water related, safe to use, and can be used for the backyard, which keeps you at home so parents don't need to worry about you, especially when you're not at home. Fun items such as the Slip and Slide brand, which covers freestyle boogie, splash dunk, wave rider double, monster splash, and many more exciting items. With the popular use of social networks, we understand how our current population of teenagers have grown up so fast with the internet compared to the rest of us. Wi-Fi and smartphones are part of their everyday lives. Here at Brian Bell, we cover a wide range of electronic gadgets, from mobile phones to micro SD cards ranging from a 4 GB to a 64 GB, depending on your need. MP3s, wireless or Bluetooth earpiece, standard earpiece, and portable DVD players for that road trip. We also have a wide range of portable boomboxes if you want maximum sound to hear your favorite music from your mobile phone. We have the creative brands which cover Gigaworks T40 Series 2, which features PC, Mac, MP3 speakers, D200 Pure Wireless, which is world-class tuning and ensures accuracy and delivering audiophile-like smoothness. It also has simplistic design and state-of-the-art amplifiers, features Bluetooth, which allows fast, free wireless connection for your enjoyment. And the best thing about shopping at Brian Bell is that most of our products are under warranty. So I hope you're all geared up for the school holidays. And remember, great products, great prices. That's Brian Bell. Until next time, I'm Jane Tokilala. Good night.
Best price, best quality, guaranteed at Brian Bell.
Right on, Mr. B.
After the break, World Vision supports the work of the Office of Street Ministry.
The Office of Street Ministry is a Catholic Church initiative to address and look after unfortunate children who have missed out on the formal education system and end up roaming the streets of Port Moresby. The aim is to enable marginalised and abandoned children to be reintroduced into the formal education system to become decent and productive citizens of Papua New Guinea. The fast-paced development of Port Moresby has placed most of these unfortunate children in vulnerable positions. This organisation started with a vision and the dreams of Archbishop John Ribber to care and teach literacy and numeracy skills to these street children. Most of these children come from settlements of Port Moresby in Rabiagini, Segani and Erima. Since its inception in 2010, a total of 50 students have been reintroduced to the primary school level. The pioneer students are currently doing grade 8 this year. The children who have passed out on the street ministry currently attend St. Francis, St. Teresa and Kilakilla primary schools. Currently, the Office of Street Ministry is providing basic literacy and numeracy education for street children. Those who have reached their teenage years already are taught socialisation skills, problem solving, anger management, conflict resolution, religious, moral and character training.
We teach them for like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. When we saw that they are ready to go to school, we try to put them in the formal school, the children. So far, every year, we put about 10 boys or 5 girls in the formal school. We have about 60 children that we put back to the school now since 2010. And these are in St. Francis, most of them St. Therese, Kogeri, Kilakilla, Koroboro. So we follow them to school. We bring them even to get their report card. And still yet we give them sometimes biscuit or drinks for their lunch. And what is really helpful for us and our joy is to see them, some already grade 7 now, grade 8. One last year, a girl finished grade 8. So that is a big hope for us to see how they are. But the challenges that we meet every year is when they are in school, the uniform, the stationery, what they need to write. Sometimes they come to us to ask us that we don't have, and then it's always every year for us to help them for uniform, sport uniform, and then their needs for how to write and to read in school. And that is always remaining a challenge for us. We are here at Erema with these girls and boys that we just started a few weeks ago. We don't have proper classroom for them. For the boys downtown that we are helping, this year we have boys from Ranuguri. But before, we have the boys who is from Rabiagini. Those who are really on the street of downtown there, parking car, and then every day, whole day, and we are helping them for how to write and read. Because we asked them, what do you really want? And they said, we really want to know how to write and to read. And then we started by that to welcome them and to know them and visit their family. So we are very keen in visiting the settlement. And then that's why this year we start a new settlement with Ranuguri. And we have about 25 boys with us downtown there. And they are only boys. And some girls who, 12 girls want to join the group, but no facilities, so we cannot get the girls. We felt sorry for those girls, but we still have in our heart how to help them. Willing that if we got support, to have a building that we can welcome them like all the children to learn how to write, to read, and to help them in many skills also, to sewing or how to cook or to help the family and for future. And then it will be good. So we are really in need of a building now. And then we are in need of help them for the meal, the nutrition, the good nutrition, help them for their school as stationery, as uniform, school uniform and sport uniform, that it's always, especially their shoes in 1 year, they sometimes 2 pair of shoes to allow them to finish the year. So our support will be really towards those unfortunate children who need really help. And we are giving all our time to be with them and helping the parents to take some responsibility and to work together with us. We cannot work without being aside with the parents to help the children for their life, to better life for the future. And our appeal towards these children that we really will give our time to be with them is really to have the facilities at least. We assigned to give land already, but to start the building is our now, what project we are appealing for. And of course, if you start to have a small building, we need all the furniture, to the benches, the desk, the table, whatever you need, cupboard, to make the running of the teaching smoothly, and that they can have chance and feel that they are like all the children being with us and having support and help from outside. And we may recognize what all the Vision are doing for us. They are really helping us Each time we ask or tell what you need, they give a part of what you need to help the children. Stationery or helping us with the uniform, and which is very supportive for us until today. So as today we are talking openly to what we are living on the office street ministry, today we are having here children from Erema settlement. We are just starting, as I said, but they are really, none of them have been to school. We realize that they are really starting from zero. We help them really how to read the alphabet, how to write all the numbers from one, how to count, so. We are happy we have help to be done in our everyday activity with them. And we try our best to do what can we do for each one of them. But we don't forget, we really want to work with the parents, the family, that we are all responsible for the best of these children. So they are not a big group yet, but little by little, we are having them to come. And still, like this morning, we went to the settlement to see some parents and talk to them to give a bit of awareness. So our hope is high. We waiting for some more to come. And we will be working with them, journeying with them, to help them to recognize their dignity as children of God, for sure, and children of this nation.
Most of the children who attend street ministry, one of the streets of downtown, Erema and Gordons, have a dream to become a well-educated man and woman in their future. The Office of Street Ministry is committed to providing a learning opportunity for the unfortunate children of Port Moresby. They are appealing to corporate business houses and individual philanthropists to support these children with contributions in kind for a chance to allow them to continue on in their learning. Business houses and philanthropists who are willing to support can contact Street Ministry on telephone 340-2408 or email providencedw@deltron.com.pg. Donations received will also help in providing these children nutritional meals and a better learning environment.
It is an unfortunate turn of events for some children where they find themselves dropped from the formal education system due to various reasons, and it is a blessing to these children for organizations such as the Office of Street Ministry to provide a solution to these children, providing a second chance at a better future other than roaming the streets day in and day out. More on House and Home in a moment on Cooking with Besta, making Besta Tuna Vegetable Casserole.
It's the tastiest tuna in a can. It's the new Besta Tuna Chunks in 185 grams. Packed with 100% premium white meat goodness. The finest export quality tuna is now available nationwide in oil and brine. Besta Tuna Chunks and Bestia, proudly PNG made.
Good night everyone. I will show you how to prepare Besta Tuna and Vegetable Casserole. In front of me we have 1 tablespoon chives, 90-gram mushroom, 130 gram of corn kernels, 1 tablespoon tomato paste, half a cup grated cheese, 1 egg beaten, 1 celery stick chopped, 1 chopped onion, 1 chopped carrot, 15 gram butter, our main ingredient, Besta Tuna Chunks in oil in 185 gram, and lastly, our 1.5 cup of cooked rice. Firstly, let's saute our carrots, onion, and celery. celery, carrots, onion. Leave it to cook for a while so that all the veggies are tender. Okay, now that our vegetables are ready, we'll switch off our stove. Just serve into the bowl. We add in our rice, cooked rice. Mix that all up. Add our corn, mushroom, chives, mix that all up again. Okay, we add in our tuna. Mix that up again. Our tomato paste and our egg. Just mix so all the ingredients are well combined. Viewers, this is how your Besta Tuna and Vegetable Casserole should look like. To transfer the mixture into the casserole dish. Spread it evenly. And we'll top it up with our grated cheese. Okay viewers, our Besta Tuna and Vegetable Casserole is now ready to be baked in the oven at about 250 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. And here you have it, Besta mackerel with vegetable casserole.
It's the tastiest tuna in a can. It's the new Besta Tuna Chunks in 185 grams, packed with 100% premium white meat goodness. The finest export quality tuna is now available nationwide in oil and brine. Besta Tuna Chunks and Bestia, proudly PNG made.
Thank you to our Besta Miriam. Something nice and hearty for dinner, especially suited for the cooler weather we've been experiencing lately, and all in one meal. Next week on Haus Home, Chef Barry cooks up a storm in our Haus Home kitchen, pan-fried Zenag chicken, and we join Jane over at Brian Bell for more great quality buys at great affordable prices, just to name a few. Thank you for your company this evening on Haus Home. Hope to have you join us once again, same time next week. A very good and productive week to you all. Those of you on school midterm break, make yourselves useful around the home and help cleaning up. And even though it's a school holiday, it's also worth spending time and doing some revision on your school subjects, especially on the subjects that you're not doing too well at the moment. This is where the Haus Home team and I will leave you. Until next week, keep up those regular exercises, enjoy the outdoors more, and just keep on moving. From all of us here on Haus Home, it's good night.